7 teams on 4 continents just got a yes. This week, the Species Reintroduction Fund, run by the Colossal Foundation with the conservation group Rewild, announced its second yearly cohort. 7 new species getting grant money, per the announcement, from a banteng in Cambodia to a sea star in British Columbia. Small grants, honestly, but aimed at my favorite kind of conservation, the kind that shows up before the emergency, for the animals that are still here. I'm Naomi, and this is the Good News Desk. And look at this list, because it reads like a map of every different way a species can end up on the edge. The banteng, a wild cattle species in Cambodia. The black-footed ferret, a little grassland predator in South Dakota that science once wrote off as extinct. The brown howler monkey in Brazil's shrinking forests. Campbell's alligator lizard in Guatemala. The northern quoll in Australia. The sunflower sea star, gutted along the Pacific coast by a wasting disease. And a bird called the sihek, and hold on to that one, because it gets its own moment tonight. Different animals, different continents, different threats. One shared idea. Here is that idea, in the words of Matt James, executive director of the Colossal Foundation. The fastest way to make extinction a thing of the past is to stop it before it starts. And that sentence carries real dollar math. Rebuilding a species after it collapses means captive breeding, permits, years of monitoring, work that runs into the millions. Helping a team hold a wild population steady while it still exists costs a fraction of that. So the fund pays for the early, cheap, deeply unglamorous work. Seedlings in Guatemala, plague bait for ferret country, a predator-proof haven for quolls. The stuff that never makes headlines until the day it turns out to have been the whole story. Now the sihek, because I promised. It is Guam's kingfisher, a little flash of cinnamon and blue, and it is extinct in the wild on Guam, gone from its own island. 2 years ago, a first group of 9 birds was released on Palmyra Atoll, out in the Pacific, to start over. Per the announcement, all 9 are alive, and they have produced the first wild sihek eggs anywhere in decades. This grant funds the second cohort, 9 more birds. A species that had 0 wild homes now has 1, and it is laying eggs in it. That is what a comeback looks like at the very beginning, and somebody had to pay for the beginning. Now the honest part, all of it in one breath, because you always get the whole picture here. The money is small. Grants top out at $50,000 from a pool of about $250,000 a year, and the fund says requests came to nearly 5 million, 20 times more asked than existed. Most teams heard no, and you should know where tonight's story comes from, the fund's own announcement. The Colossal Foundation is the charitable arm of Colossal Biosciences, the de-extinction company, and no independent outlet has covered this cohort yet. The grantee programs themselves are real and separately documented, which is why I am telling you about them. But a press release is a press release, and you deserve to know when I am reading one. So here is what I am keeping from tonight. Somewhere in Cambodia, a banteng is being flown by helicopter to a safer forest. In South Dakota, a ferret that was supposed to be extinct is getting its prairie plague-proofed. And on a tiny atoll in the Pacific, a bird with no wild home left is sitting on the first wild eggs of its comeback. 7 teams doing the early work before the emergency, while the animals are still here to save. Small money, real animals, head starts. That is the good news tonight. I'm Naomi, and this is Pixel Politics.